Thank you very much. As you previously alluded, you said Trump does not want a shooting war and wants to avoid it, with anything he can do. The same thing applies to the NFSC and the freedom-loving Chinese people. We don't want a shooting war, but we want to caution America that be aware of your desire, because the Satan is really good at using your desire as a weapon to subjugate you. So we want people to understand the reason why we advocate for exposing the wealth is because we can pull the rug underneath of the CCP. Because right now, who are going to the war with the Xi? They control the resources. So if we show them the alternative, they will pull the rug from under the Xi. I think that is the golden nugget that we want the world to know. So my next question is here, because you mentioned in your first answer, talking about people within the United States against Trump's kind of American first investment policy, such as bring manufactured jobs backing U.S., particularly Ray Dalio, one of the largest hedge fund manager in the world, Bridgewater, and in his latest interview with Tucker Carlson, he stated, "It is impossible for the U.S. to compete with communist China in manufacturing, quote, in our lifetime," end of quote. Because the reason he gave is CCP controls 33% of the global manufacture, and they can manufacture cheaply and effectively. And he advocated for competition, global competition, and dismiss Trump's agenda, which he dubbed as protectionism. So I wanted to ask you, so how will Trump and his crew tackle the resistance? And like people from Ray Dalio, because he's not alone, from within the United States in his second term?
Well, first off, let's go back to that interview. I mean, what was not brought up is Ray Dalio is one of the biggest running dogs of the Chinese Communist Party. Ray Dalio has made a fortune. He's a billionaire for one reason. He's one of the leading private equity folks that took American factories and put them into China with the slave labor allowed by Xi and made a fortune. That's his business model. He's always going to protect the Chinese Communist Party because they're his paymasters. He's a running dog
Yes.
for the CCP, and what he said right there is patently untrue. If we put 20% tariffs on the CCP, their exports to the United States are going to plummet. They understand. I happen to believe 20 to 25% tariffs across the board in the CCP. The country's bankrupt. The CCP's bankrupt in 6 months. I actually think it's the best chance we may ever have of overthrowing them with Lao Beijing, because they're about to collapse. They're highly leveraged. The economy's underperforming, right? A lot of people are restricting exports now, given what they know is the rapacious nature of the Chinese Communist Party. So no, I think it's very powerful, and I think what Ray Dalio says is exactly wrong. This is one of the reasons that we're talking about putting so the size of tariffs on that we're starting to talk about. Is to bring jobs back. Apple Computer doesn't commit to put $500 billion, $500 billion, into Apple factories, into iPhone factories, right, or at our labor rates, unless they understand that something important is happening. Taiwan Semiconductor, it's not simply about a potential coming war in the South China Sea or the Straits of Taiwan. It's also the fact that they understand that tariffs are coming to the United States, and they want to be inside the gate before they get installed. Because remember, you're not going to have to pay any tariff at all if you manufacture here. So there's almost $1 trillion has come back, even from when President Trump announced, or when he had the inauguration. So I think Ray Dalio's mindset, for your audience, people that say we're strategic competitors are misleading you. And they always lead you down a path of wrong action. We are not strategic competitors to the Chinese Communist Party. Chinese Communist Party has to be eradicated, and the only people that can eradicate them is Lao Beijing. We're here to assist, but you can't have any accommodation with the Chinese Communist Party. And to me, we should have immediate decoupling. But Ray Dalio, and there's many other Ray Dalios, people that made a fortune off the backs and the sweat of the Chinese people, and prepare to make another fortune off it. And that's one of the things we have to stop.
Sign up for free and be part of the movement.
It isn't just an app. It isn't just a social media platform. It's a community.
Download Getter right now.